Welcome to the Jobs and Work podcast. If you're like most Americans, you spend a significant amount of your time working. In fact, we spend more time at our jobs than anywhere else. But how often do we really talk about work in America? On this podcast, the Work for Change team will. Work for Change, LLC is a team of social scientists, thought leaders, and digital storytellers who dig into the critical issues affecting American workers and workplaces today. Our podcast is co-hosted by Dr. Kendra Jason and myself, Dr. Chris Maycumber. We'll also bring guests onto the show who reflect the diversity of the American workforce. We are so excited for you to join us as we lead the efforts to humanize the workplace by building dignity and equity into jobs, work, and organizations. Please subscribe to the podcast and share us with your friends and family. You can learn more about Work for Change at workforchangellc.com.
Hello, welcome to the Jobs and Work with Work for Change podcast. I am your host, Kendra Jason, and today we have Eilleen De Guzman, who is a small business feature for us today. Thank you so much for joining, Eileen.
Hi, Kendra. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So this is episode 29, and we are so excited to have you. I was telling Eileen, 29 is one of my favorite numbers, so I'm really excited about this particular podcast because I have been following you for a long time. So just a little bit of background on Eileen. So Eileen got her bachelor's degree in sociology and her master's degree in legal studies. However, she found her true calling and passion in life when she became a mother and the joy of teaching her young child. And with that inspiration, she started an online preschool called Wheels at Home. So Eileen, I just want to start out, number one, just congratulations on starting your own business, which is a school. And I see you on social media all the time, promoting your business and teaching lessons online. I think it's just absolutely awesome. So can you let us know what inspired you to start an online preschool?
Yes, thank you for that question. So it really started when I was young. So I was born in the Philippines, and then I don't know how old I was, but there was a teacher that inspired me that when I get older, I'm going to become a teacher. So in college, I was taking my major in elementary education, but then I kind of shifted and changed my class when I took one of your course. I don't know what it is called, but it really intrigued me, sociology, because it talks about like how women are treated in America, and it talks about the workforce. We don't really get paid as high as the men does, even though we do like the same job, same thing. Right. And you're like, and they talk about like how we don't ask for, to get paid higher than the other, men does. Well, it's kind of weird. Like, why do we have to ask, to get paid as them, even though we do equally the same job? So, and then after that, I switched my major to sociology. And then after having a kid, it really literally changed my mindset, even though they said, hey, you have a master in legal studies and you have the contract, blah, 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 blah. But then I was like, yeah, but having a kid, your whole entire perspective, you literally change. Yeah. So for 5 months, I wasn't working, and I was like, if I go back to work, this little one, I'm going to miss all her milestone. And I was like, do I really want that? Yeah. Because after going back to work, I did 2 jobs, and I was like, I hated it, I hated it. I felt defeated, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I'm just but I wasn't depressed. I didn't get any of those postpartum depression. Thank God. I was glad that, because I know a lot of mom had it after giving birth. And so I was like, okay, I'm thankful I wasn't. And after that, I kept looking online. I was like, all right, I need to stay home. But at the same time, I want to make income because I'm always a hard worker, and I want to make my own income, not just my partner. So I kept looking. I'm like, what can I do? And it just takes so long. And then I finally found an ad that talks about start your own preschool. I'm like, what? Start my own preschool? Really? Without having a degree of it. Yeah. Because you just have to know all the legal side of how to get started. You got to get your business name, your LLC, and all that. So I got everything set up once I joined her. And she was really an incredible person. Her name is Joy Anderson. She's my mentor. She
Awesome.
literally helped me like step by step how to get started. And the biggest, like, I would say the biggest challenge I had was actually going to social media. Like, I don't like talking in like in my social media, talk about, oh, I have a business. And I was like, oh, should I do this or not? So when she told us, you have to, you know, put yourself out there. And I was like, I'm actually really an introvert, even though I may seem like an extrovert, but I don't talk like that. And then, but the best thing about it is like she encourages us and like understand what we go through. She's been there too. And so that helped us a lot because she actually helped a lot of women start their own preschool. So that was really incredible. So I have a lot of other women, you know, beside me that is also starting their own preschool with me.
Yeah. Oh, so you have like a community.
Yes, we are a big community now. We're getting really big, especially since COVID, you know. A lot of parents don't want their kids to go in local now. So it's sad. I mean, it's really sad because, you know, at preschool age is their social interaction that you know, they should play, be out there, make friends. And I'm like, so sad. I mean, they can go online. I mean, it's an option, but we try to make it like hands-on activity, like what I usually do. And I do make it fun, like what I do. And even though they're online, I make sure that, hey, we got a collar, you know, we got to do some cutting. And so you have to know your alphabet. But like a lot of school, they like to make kids memorize stuff. I don't like memorizing. So I want them to actually know the materials. Right. And kind of like explain it in their own way to me when they see me. So that's how I kind of teach them. And so where was I? Oh yeah, how I started like that. And then, that's pretty much actually how I started. I found her on an ad. Now I do a lot of promoting social media, which I'm still not used to.
That's so interesting. You said so much there. So one thing is that, so before you saw this ad, you said you wanted to be a teacher before, but you wanted to be a teacher when you were a kid. Then life happened. You're like, oh, I could do these other things. You even got your legal degree. And then you come to this ad. So before the ad, were you thinking, oh, preschool might be a good thing? Or was it that when you saw this ad, everything kind of came together for you?
Everything kind of came in together, like you said, because I was like, I changed it like completely. And then everyone's like, you went back to education. Like, what? That's the kind of thing, like promoting, like saying it on social media was weird for me to have a family, like, you know, they have a high expectation, like, hey, you have a master, why are you like, kind of, I was like, well, it's not about making money for me anymore. It's about like being a role model for my, you know, for my kid when she grows up. I want to make sure that she knows, hey, I can be my own boss. I can have my own hours and time, and I can do whatever I want. It's, you know, it's my business.
Oh my God. It's so, you know, I talk about that all the time with, whenever I talk about starting your own business, especially for women. Most of my, you know, the people who I work with who are interested in starting their own businesses are women, you know, of different racial backgrounds. And it's always like, you know, when they have children, we often talk about how we're a role model for our kids. And sometimes like people are very purposeful in being a role model. I want my kid to see me doing this. Other times, mothers don't realize how much their kids watch them, right, and mimic them, right. And so Eileen, I know, you know, Eileen also is a fitness expert, right, and so fitness and nutrition, and so she puts videos on social media regarding that as well. And I was following that for a while. And I used to always enjoy. So one thing I loved about that, and it's a little bit off track from the school, but it's the same thing. But one thing I loved about that, number one, you were working out from home. You were basically showing people how feasible it was to do it at home. Like you didn't have to go to a gym. You didn't have to follow this expensive equipment. You know, you could follow these simple steps and follow these simple routines, and you can build an awesome, you know, physique and build a healthier lifestyle. So I love that. But in addition to those videos, your little baby was always in the videos. trying to do push-ups with you when she was like 1 year old, trying to do push-ups, trying to do, I remember one time you had on the
pull-up, yep.
the pull-up bar, and it was so cute and funny and entertaining. And so I just wanted to say, like, people, you never know, we put ourselves out there on social media. I also will say that you don't know is that you highly inspired me to start making videos on social media. And so one of the things that I'm doing now, one of the new things that I'm doing now through Work for Change is I'm making my own videos and, doing a little snippets of information. And I really got that idea from you and this one other person. I know she's like, you just do videos consistently, and they're just like really good short videos that show what you do. And you are literally teaching to the class in your videos, and it really gives us a good insight into what that kid experience is and how fun you are. You had like wacky hair day yesterday. How fun you are, and things like that. And so I just wanted to let you know, number one, you've been doing an awesome job with consistency in your marketing. And I know social media is not a fun place all the time. I'm on it as well. And I'm trying to get comfortable putting myself out there, like you say. And it doesn't get easier necessarily. We just do it just because we know that we need to be relatable and we need to put our businesses out there. And the more we do it, the more others can do it and appreciate it. So I just wanted to let you know that you have inspired me greatly, which is one of the reasons that I reached out to you to be on this podcast to talk about your journey. So I did want to ask you a little bit more about your mentor, because that's another core principle that I promote with the small business owners that I work with. So you were able to capture your mentor through this advertisement. And so what has she taught you, and what have you learned about business through mentorship?
Okay, so what I like about her, even though there's so many of us in that group now, we're really like a community in like one Facebook group. But what I like about her, she doesn't talk about, it's not going to be easy, okay? It's not about overnight, you'll get rich, you'll be like a millionaire, blah, blah, blah. But she talked about, on Monday, she always encourages us. She has like a motivation Monday for all of us to join in to kind of help us what we're going through. And what I like about it, everything is like open for all of us. If you have any questions or concerns, post it. Someone will help you immediately. It's so quick. Like if you have concerns. And what I like about it as well, about her, is that she over-deliver. What I mean by over-deliver is that she will reach out to you if there is something wrong, or like if there's something wrong with you, you can reach out to her and let her know, hey, I'm going through this. I don't know what's the next step, what I should do. Especially when someone else comment on like one of your posts and just brings you down, and she kind of uplifts all of us, and like everyone else also will comment. I'm like, wow, huge community. And what I like about her, so I don't know how to set up my own business. Like, I don't know how to get my LLC. Like, I don't know how to get my EIN. Like, what? So she got everything set up for us of how to get it. Like, make sure that based on your state, how to get it. I was like, it was easy in North Carolina. It wasn't
it is easy.
Like in California, I was like, oh my. I was like, I'm so glad we're here, because I don't know if I even want to start like my own when I go a different state, because it's different. So I learned so much on business side, not just like being a teacher, being passionate, but actually being a business owner too. Like you have to be very professional to do it. Got to get all that legal side out of the way first, and then social media.
It's so interesting. So if you're in North Carolina, it is very easy to get your LLC. I mean, it is literally one piece of paperwork and one small payment or one affordable payment, and that's pretty much it. The website is more intimidating than the actual work.
I know. She made it so simple. And I was like, I was reading it. I was like, I don't understand some of it.
The state of North Carolina website is just massive, but the actual work to it is easy, which is why it's good to have someone, to talk through, because it's great to have a mentor, because I did it independently, right? And so I did take a starting your own business workshop with SCORE, which is out, is national, but I use the one that's based out of Charlotte, and it's a basically small business mentoring social network. And I encourage anybody to look them up. They have so many free resources, and I depend on them so heavily. So I work with them. I get business mentor, but I did not use them to walk me through the steps of starting my LLC. That was one thing that I was just like, I can probably figure this out. And the learning curve was steep. I did figure it out, but what I noticed is that if I would Google like how to start an LLC, or, how to get a region or whatever it is, that like all of these crazy websites would come up that were fraudulent. Yes. Or scammers, and they'll be like, oh yeah, to get your LLC, you need to pay $1,000, or you need somebody to sign off on your paperwork, and I can do it for you for $500. And none of it is legitimate, right? I mean, in my opinion, none of it is legitimate because it is such a simple process that you can do independently with the right mentor, right? And so, so the thing is that when people Google and try to do it on their own without having a mentor, without having someone experienced, they see all this stuff and they either say, okay, which one is the one that looks least like a scam? Let me click that one. Or they may end up paying more than they actually need to pay. So I say all that to say that it's always an excellent idea to have a mentor. And I think what you were saying about your mentor over delivering, I feel the same thing about my mentor. So my mentor is Janita Castro. I've had her on the podcast before, and she, I'm always amazed at how much information they want to give. And they're just like, come on, like, this is what you do. This is what you don't do. Be careful about this. Mm-hmm. And, they give you the answer before you even have the question, or you're not sure how to pose a question and you're talking all around it. And then they just say the question. You really want to know this, right? And you're like, yes, that is what I want to know. And
Same
so,
here.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And you're just like so grateful to have that relationship, to have someone who's like that. And I know from experience too, because when I have the Starting Your Own Business workshop, by the way, we have the next one coming up on September the 18th. We have a condensed version. It's just 1 day instead of 2 days this time. Please check out the website for that. But what I noticed, when I'm working with someone to start their own business, I'm just trying to pour information. I'm just like, oh my God, come over to Starting Your Business because it is so fun over here. Yes, it's challenging. Yes, it has, things to figure out, but there is a community of people. And so you have a really good deal where through this advertisement, through your mentor, sort of came together as a package. It sounds like your community grew over time through this Facebook page as well.
Yes, it really has. It impresses me, like people, are still going in because, well, education is really in demand now,
Oh yeah.
So it's broad. I mean, it's a good thing, but I find it sad just because kids can't, some of them that has condition can't go on local, and I'm
That's
like,
true.
oh, it's so sad.
Yes.
And we, there's so many things we can do online, but there's nothing we can do when it comes to physical,
Yes.
So I'm like, we try to make it fun, but I know it's a little different. I mean, everything is changing now.
Yeah.
I feel like
I was
same anymore.
I was talking to someone just about this. Actually, it was Janita again. We had a mentoring session yesterday, and we were talking about how much work is changing or has changed because of COVID-19, for example. And so, like you say, but the thing is that COVID-19 is going to change our work and experiences permanently. Not necessarily that we have to wear masks for the rest of our lives, who knows, or not necessarily we'll be working remote or whatever the case is, but there have been shifts in demand and shifts in lifestyle that people are just not going to return back to, that employers are going to have to figure out how to accommodate. And like you did as a worker. And so the interesting thing is that from what I hear, you didn't necessarily start Wheels online. I mean,
Wheels at Home.
Wheels at Home online preschool. Wheels at Home because of COVID-19. I mean, it may have been a part of the equation, but you really started Wheels at Home because you wanted to be home with your kid.
Yeah, that's how I came with the name.
Yeah. And that's, you know, that's so interesting. If COVID-19 never happened, you still could have Wheels at Home online preschool, you know? But what I think what may benefit you, for lack of, well, that does not lack of a better word, is that because you started your online preschool during COVID-19, when so many people would like to stay home for safety and security, they have you as an option. So let's talk about your school for a moment. So what do you specialize in? And I seen her website is so awesome. Please, her information is below. Check out her website, you know, get the information. She has awesome rates. But tell the audience like what a kid can expect from Wheels at Home.
Okay. So I always tell the parents that they're not gonna get like the regular, like, oh, memorizing the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm mainly gonna focus on like every week they have like letter of the week. We focus on like one letter, okay? Even though they may know, I'm tired of this letter. But like, so okay, what word do you know? Do you know it all? Do you know how it sounds? You know, I try to make it the phonics and I read the story to them. And then when I see them online, I ask them, so what did you learn when you were watching the video? I try to make sure and have them interact with me. Like, so did you actually watch it? Did you learn it? Because I'm not giving them a quiz, but it's like, I want them to tell me, you know, like share and tell. And then I also make them tell me a story, like any story, like either based on what you watched during the teaching time or like any story, any book that you've read. Because like one student I had, she's told me a story about like you know, the big bad wolf and the little pigs, the three. She kind of changed it into like her family. And then the wolf is a bad wolf. And then it's funny because she had like one house is a straw, other house is a wood, and then the other house is a brick. It was so funny. And I got so intrigued how she told me because you can see like their eyes sparkles. Like, oh, I wanna keep going. But I feel like it's never enough time online because I only have like 30 minutes teaching time. I record and send it to them before they come to class in the morning. And then it's only 30 minutes. So when we try to leave, they get like, do we have to go? You have to go. It's like, yeah, I have to go.
Yeah.
And this is how what we came up with. Because if I do much longer than 30 minutes, you know, their attention span is gonna it's gonna decrease and a lot of distractions. So that's another challenge online. Is like
that makes sense.
Yeah, you have to be like really quick in how to teach them, and all the is like right beside you. So you have to be really prepared.
Yeah.
And I also want to teach them like skills is very important. And I really focus on STEAM curriculum, like all of that, because they have to learn all that when they get to kindergarten. Preschool. So I have to make sure that they have like science, experimentation. Right now we're actually doing astronomy. So I just talked about like the solar system, 8 planets, and I talked about the moon. There's, 8 moon phases and all that. And I make it hands-on, like I do experiment like an Oreo. And they really like that because they get to eat during class. I'm eating. They love all that. And also, what else do I focus on? I try to make them do like circle time the first thing when I see them live, but because I don't know what it is, or if it's due to like them staying home and not going to like a local preschool, but I can definitely tell kids are not as what like their kind of level used to be before. Because kids know like their days of the week, their months of the year. So now you have to work on actually everything. So I was like, ooh, and I feel kind of pressured a little bit sometimes. Every time I talk to my partner, I'm worried. I'm worried like, okay, so I only have them for like a year, and will they get to know all of this? Will they be really?
Yeah.
I think I don't know if I talk myself down or I'm just kind of like a worry rat. Like, are they gonna be okay? Because I give them like welcome kits. I could make sure they get all these second trays, and I make them do like writing and drawing. But that's pretty much what I do.
I can tell you from experience that as a teacher, you're always like, did they get it? Will they get it? Will they use it? And the answer is typically yes. I mean, if you take an approach where they have to apply what they learned into their own lives, or they have to use their hands, or they have to connect, what they're doing to whatever is going on in their own physical space, it's going to stick with them in a way. And so, like you said, I mean, I'm not a preschool expert by far, even K through 12, but, having that exposure early, and then I'm sure the parents supplement at home and all that things, but it's good. I mean, not that you worry, it's not, but it's good that you're always concerned about, making it a better experience for them. And are you doing your best? And are they getting the best experience out of that? I mean, I would rather my kid's teacher be thinking that than being like, oh, I done gave them a prepackaged set, so I'll see you tomorrow. That's not how it goes. And I really like your approach too. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that it's 30 minutes because they are toddlers. And so even though it probably each day you feel like, oh man, we should keep them longer. If you had it scheduled that it was 2 hours a day, oh my gosh, that would probably fall apart. So you definitely have a curriculum and a schedule that shows that you know what you're doing, that you know your kids, that you know this age group, and so that's really cool. So the one of the last things I want to say before I let you go, or ask before I let you go, for, let's just say, any business owner, but especially we've been talking about moms, we've been talking about women, if someone came to you and said, I think about starting something, I really want to do something, but I'm really not sure. What advice would you give them as far as like if they wanted to take that plunge to start their own business, but they're being hesitant on their own?
I always tell them, is this really what you want to do, or do you want to stick to your job? I always tell them first, like, so what do you really want to do? You have to know what you want to do first, because if you don't know, then you're just gonna brush it off and think like, oh, I'm back of my head. And then I also ask them, like, so if you're actually doing it, what may happen to your life? What might change? Because that's what I was thinking when I started. It's like, good. If I do it, what will my life become? I started visioning like, okay, I think I can do this, because I can see myself, I've saw myself before that I'm a teacher, right? Yeah. So I have to like tell myself I'm good enough to do this. Because I feel like women didn't grow up thinking that we can be our own business. Yes. I've never
across a lot of cultures. Yes.
Yeah. So that's why one of my reasons for doing this online is I want to start teaching them. That's why I said life skills is important to me too, because I want to start teaching them, hey, you have to start like not finding what you like, but like not career wise, but like you have to know what you kind of like to do, and if it's fun, and in the long run, can you see yourself like all about you? Do you see yourself like, I don't know, an astronaut? Or like a doctor? Like just have that expectation of something that you want to do and stick with. But I don't think that was really taught in school.
Oh, no, it's not. No. Yeah. No, it's always, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it's typically,
that's a hard question.
Number one, they asked toddlers. I remember my daughter, they asked her what she wanted to be when she grew up, when she was in preschool, and they had a whole little theme about it, which, it was fun in the time, but then you always think about like, that constant messaging of working for someone else, working for the benefit of others. I think you just gave some excellent advice. Eileen, I want to thank you again for being on our podcast this morning and sharing your gems of wisdom. And again, I just want to encourage everyone, especially if you have or someone who has a toddler, and they're interested in at-home learning, check out Eileen's Wheels at Home online preschool. Again, her information is below. You can check out our website and Facebook page. And again, she has all of these snippets of the work that she does. And so you can see the experience. And then finally, I can't help but promote once again, just because Eileen said something so great about, before you start your own business, you really need to understand what you want to do. You got to get a sense for it. And so in our Starting Your Own Business workshop that we're going to have on September the 18th, that is the entire focus of that workshop. Again, I said it's abbreviated because we're not actually working on the business plan this time. This time, we are focusing on what I call the vision. And basically that is figuring out what you want to do and making it concrete. And then also identifying what challenges you have or you perceive that you have, but also what supports that you already have that can allow you to get that business started, right? And so it's no commitment or anything of that nature, but it's a sense of just understanding who you are and who you are in the business that you want to start. So that information is below as well. So again, Eileen, thank you for spending your time with me. I'm looking at the solar system and the alphabet and the
I know it's all in there.
Behind you. It's just like a fun environment. And so, I am, again, the founder of Work for Change, LLC. We're a workplace equity consulting company. So please, my information is below. If you want to find out more about our Starting Your Own Business workshop, if you want to find out more about any type of consultation you need in your workplace, just contact us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, you found us here on YouTube. So please like, subscribe, and share so we can work to make the world of work better.